afternoon. This is Mrs. Ross,
Mrs. Wagoner,
and this is our second Bear Time, bringing everyone answers and resources.
Yep.
I have a slight cold, so I'm going to step out of the frame for most of this, but Mrs. Wagoner, we had a really good question.
Yeah.
And I'm going to let you answer most of this. The question is, sometimes when my kid gets really frustrated or has big emotions, they mad spit or can, spit. And what do we do? What strategies do you suggest? How do we handle this?
Yeah.
Can you help us?
It's a great question. Yes, I can. So this actually goes into the lessons I've been teaching in your kids' classrooms the last couple of weeks. So I'm going to start by telling you a bit about that, and then I'll give some suggestions. So first, what we've been learning in class is we're talking about the zones of regulation. And basically, it just categorizes all of our feelings into different colors. And lately, we've been focused on the red zone, which is basically the zone where you feel really out of control. And this is the zone where maybe you might make poor choices. Like you might, if you're really angry, you might hit your brother. Mad spitting, it kind of fits into that red zone category where your child is making a decision that is not a productive or good decision, but it's an impulse that they have. And so what do we do as parents if our child is in the red zone? So some of you will have already gotten this little flyer that I sent home. And what I've been teaching your kids is what's happening in your brain when you're in the red zone. And it's really fun for kids to understand this and for parents too. So we did a hand model of the brain, and you've got this front part of your brain called the prefrontal cortex. And it's like the smart, thoughtful, intelligent part of your brain that helps you make like intentional choices. But then you've also got an amygdala that's kind of deep down in your brain. And it goes like this. That kind of represents the amygdala. And when your amygdala takes over, that's when maybe you're feeling really angry or defensive or feeling like you want to protect yourself. And that's actually called the reptilian brain because it's all impulse. It's completely all about protecting yourself. And what's cool about humans is we still have that reptilian brain, but we've developed a prefrontal cortex that's supposed to help us think before we make an action. So for kids, they have an amygdala, they have impulses, but they haven't learned yet how to control them very well because their prefrontal cortex is not fully developed. So that's why on the back of this paper, I put a podcast on here that says, meltdowns are not misbehavior. What I mean by that is when your child has a tantrum or a meltdown, it's not because they're a bad kid. It's because this is part of their development of learning how to control their impulses.
Ooh, I have a question.
Yes.
Okay.
I know that was really long-winded.
No, it's really, really good. So as adults and parents, even if it's sometimes outside of our children's control, we can still help teach them how to respond in the middle of these emotions or after they're done, probably, right?
That's exactly what I was thinking of explaining. So the point is, even though your child hasn't learned how to control these impulses, it doesn't mean you don't redirect them or it doesn't mean the behavior is okay. But it's our job to teach them how to manage those impulses as opposed to just punishing those impulses. Now, for mad spitting specifically, I think you have to really hold a boundary and say, I am not going to let you spit on me. And a boundary is you saying what you're going to do. So you've got to set that boundary and uphold it. Even if that means, your child spitting on you and you get up and even go into another room and shut the door and calmly say, hey, I'm not going to be in the same room as you if you're going to spit. So understanding the behavior does not mean that we're permitting the behavior. It just helps us to make sense of it and it helps us to stay calm. But I think for the mad spitting, the teaching has to happen when they're not in the red zone. So let them have their tantrum, let them come down, set those boundaries, and then have those conversations.
I love that. Thank you so much. We'll talk more about boundary setting. I think this is something that we can all learn from.
Yeah.
And the more experiences we can bring, the better we'll do.
Awesome.
Everyone have a great week.
Thank you.